Hey folks, Shawn Plummer over at the Annuity Expert. In today's video, we're answering the question, can a fixed index annuity earn interest in a volatile market? The answer is yes, it can. Usually, depending on the annuity contract, the market's pretty volatile in 2026. I mean, it's hard to argue that, right? What I have been recommending is if the fixed interest rate is north of 3%, I ask our clients to allocate to the fixed account until the markets stabilize. Okay. Because 4% this year is better than nothing. Okay. Just my opinion. All right. But that doesn't mean that index annuities can't earn interest in a volatile market. So it depends on where the market is in its volatility. So we're like, if you take the S&P 500, well, let me take a step back. So when I recommend indexes for fixed index annuities, I usually I use the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid method. So I stick with true S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, Dow Jones Industrial Average, the same three indexes that you can find on the nightly news, right? And how it did. The reason behind that is we want consistency. Number two, we want, if you didn't earn interest 1 year from the index, you know why you didn't earn any interest that year, because the S&P crapped out for that year, right? But there are certain strategies in certain fixed index annuity products that will give you what's called performance triggers. And the performance trigger in most scenarios say, hey, if we'll take the S&P 500 as an example, if the S&P 500 is positive, doesn't matter how much positive, but is positive over last year. So there is like 1%. A lot of them are, if it stays flat or is positive over the next year, we're going to credit you an interest rate. A lot of times it's like 6, 7, 8%, right? So if you had 1% growth this year from last year, you're going to get 8% growth on your annuity contract, okay? And then they have an inverse version of that. So meaning if the S&P 500 went negative over the last year, you'll get 6, 7, 8%, whatever the interest rate that they're declaring, credited to your account. So when the markets are volatile, you can allocate your money into an index like that, and is just as long as it stays flat or better, or worse than flat, depending on the index strategy. It doesn't matter if it's 1%, 2%, 3%. As long as it's meeting that requirement, you can make interest that year, right? And so it's less of a gamble, because if you think that the S&P is going to do better, great. Now, S&P 500 as at a high, right? And so when you look at a volatile market and you're at a high and it starts tanking, well, next year you're likely not to earn any sort of interest from the index performance, because you started at a high and now it is at, well, it's lower. Why? Because it went south. So I'd say if you don't have and there are certain annuities that have volatility indexes. Those, in my opinion, have not performed very well. I have not seen a success story yet on those. And so if you have a mutated engineered version of the S&P, NASDAQ, or Dow Jones, and it's got some sort of volatility control on it, man, roll the dice, go for it. But I'm telling my clients to go be in the fixed account for this year, assuming that it's like north of 3%, and get the interest rate and reallocate next year back into the index. If you got a question about this or you need some help with it, just contact us at the Annuity Expert. We'll help you. There's no cost and there's no obligation, but we can help point you in the right direction. If you got any questions about this, leave a comment below. I'll answer it over the next couple of days, and then we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.